What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Sports. I'm your host, Harrison, and to the left of me, as always, is our boy, John. And behind the scenes, we always got our guy, Ryan, taking care of all the digital stuff that we like and we appreciate, plugging in videos and all that jazz. Do you want to do the quote, or do you want me to do the quote?
Oh, shit. I always forget about it. Yeah.
Do you want me to do the quote? Okay, here.
Well, you have the list.
I gotta pull something up now. Hold on.
Okay, well, Field of Dreams game tomorrow.
We'll be talking about that.
Reds v. Cubs, two of the best teams in baseball.
100%.
Fighting for the third place in the National League Central. People sleep on that division. It's a tough division. I mean, you have
You going talk your shit.
The Cubs in third place, only a half game ahead or 1 game ahead of the Pirates and the Reds. I mean, we're fighting it out there, and the Cardinals only a half game above the Brewers. I mean, this division can finish in any order.
I completely and totally agree. I guess. Okay, here we go. Here, I got a quote for us. Thank you for stalling while I pulled one up. I'll do the quote for today. You never understand the importance of a moment until that moment becomes a memory.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
We should have quoted Field of Dreams today. What were we
Oh,
thinking?
what the fuck? Hey, you want to play catch?
This is Iowa.
This is Iowa. If you build it, they will come.
Wait, or is it this is Nebraska?
No, it's Iowa.
I know the film set's in Iowa, but isn't the movie take place in Nebraska?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know.
Maybe it's vice versa.
Regardless, we got the quote off. That's all that matters. John, you got anything to say to people before we start?
No.
Ryan, you got anything to say to people before we start?
I suck at golf.
Well, yeah, that's fair. You know, you're not the best at golf, but you're not the worst at golf. There are significantly other worse golfers. But other than that, I already gave you the quotes. So that's, I guess, all I got to say today. But let's get right into it. We got just a preview of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball, Field of Dreams game. John already touched kind of base on that. We're going to talk about who's hot, who's heating up at the right time, who's cold, who should we worry about. Maybe some MVP watch if we get to it. And then we'll do Ryan's 2-minute drill, wrap it up. And that's pretty much it for the episode. So hopefully you guys stick around for the whole time. And before we move any further, let's shout out our first sponsor of the podcast. As always, Piat Abilities, the best street food you can get in Columbus, Ohio. They've got food trucks and they've got brick and mortar stores. They do pitas with anything in it. I'm talking chicken, gyro, and you can also do falafel as well. And John, I believe you're a big fan of not just plain chicken. You like other sauces on your chicken. Am I correct in saying that?
You are, yes.
They've got them all. They've got barbecue.
They do.
They've got buffalo.
It's delicious.
They've got teriyaki and so many more. So make sure you check out Piat Abilities on their website, see where the food trucks are at for today. And also they have their brick and mortar store in Old Hilliard, Ohio in the Crooked Can facility. So make sure you check them out. Tell them that the Coast to Coast family sent you. And we appreciate them. So thank you so much for getting the sponsor. So let's get right into it. All right. Field of Dreams game. 2 absolute powerhouse baseball clubs of the MLB currently fighting for this game. You have the last place Reds in the NL Central. Tied for last place Reds in the NL Central with the third to last, I guess, or the middle of the pack.
Third place.
Third place Cubs.
I'd like to say third place.
I know, but they're only 1 game back from you guys, so it's like, do you really count that as third place? It's like, whatever. It's 2 powerhouse clubs fighting it out right now with the Cubs and the Reds. Do you think this game's going to be anywhere near as exciting as it was last year?
If the script writers are into it, it will be. It was a phenomenal game last year. You had
Classic.
What's his name? Tim Anderson hitting that walk-off home run into the corn night.
Yeah, I mean, you had
nothing better.
I mean, you had everything, right? You go top of the 9th. Liam Hendricks is on.
Mm-hmm.
They're up by 2. They're up by 1. White Sox are up by 1. Then Giancarlo Stanton or Aaron Judge, one of them, hits a 2-run homer to put them up by 1, going in the bottom of the 9th. And then you have the White Sox put together some, a base hitter here, and then Tim Anderson hits a walk-off. And the final was like 8-9. Like, it was just a phenomenal game, super exciting, exhilarating from start to finish. Do we see anything remotely close to that? Or do you think it's going to be, just bad baseball because it's so close? Because I personally think that it's going to be a close game because they're professional teams. But they're still both not very good. I mean, one's in complete fire sale mode, and the other one's kind of in that fire sale mode that they did last year or 2 years ago. So I don't know, who's the favorite here. Who do we like more right now?
I think the Reds have been playing a lot better here recently. I mean, they just got swept by the Mets, but this is their first losing series since the All-Star break. The Reds have been really hot here recently if you've been paying attention to them. 5-5 in their last 10, but if you go further than that, they're
They said they won every series or split series since All-Star break. That's not something you can just walk in and do, right?
And if you go before the All-Star series, they lost to the Cardinals, but then they beat the Yankees in New York. They swept the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, the Reds have been playing a lot better since about July.
Actually, I'm going to talk here. Look up to see who's on the bump. Is Hunter Green on the bump?
No, it should be Nick Lodolo.
Ooh, rookie?
Rookie Nick Lodolo. Yeah.
Oh, you don't count him as a rookie, do you?
Yeah, he made his first major league start last year. It's also based on service too.
Oh, okay, really?
He can win Rookie of the Year.
Like next year or this year?
This current year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if it's like since he hasn't been necessarily a rotational starter, right, for you guys?
Lodolo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has.
Okay, cool. Duh. I thought he was the one that you went and saw and was making his debut.
Yeah, he is. He made his major league debut when they played the Guardians. It was like the second series.
Okay, dope. Right.
Yeah.
Even better. Okay, so I don't know who we take here. I think I'm going to take the Cubs just because, like they have more experience, I would say, with their – I mean, they got a couple young guns on their team that can play still. The only concern I have is obviously their bullpen, but the Reds also don't have a bullpen. But I think this game will actually be really good in the sense that it'll be close. I don't know if you want to call it quote-unquote bad baseball, but it is something that I think should be interesting, and it'll be a fun game.
Look, this is one of the coolest things the MLB now does. The Field of Dreams game is awesome. Look, you just need the game to be close. I mean, bad baseball, like you said, we're professionals here. Yeah. You might see an error or two, but it's not like they're going to be kicking the ball around the field.
Right.
We're professional baseball players here, so
they're not going to be like our minor league team.
There's going to be no grandmas,
no grandma dads yelling at us and screaming at us, but it definitely will be. I think it'll definitely be a good game.
It'll be a good game, and I think the Reds will come out on top.
Okay, so we got a little split. We got a little split decision here. That's all right.
I haven't made some picks in a while.
We haven't made picks yet. We'll get back to those picks for season 2 of them once the NFL season starts. So we'll get going on those, but I think it'll be fun little game, and I'm rooting for the Reds, hometown team. Obviously, I'm gonna root for them, and I just hope it lives up to some of the hype. I don't know who gets or why they get to pick whatever team. I think the Cubs and the Reds are a good team to pick. Two bad teams, but they have historic franchises, and they're definitely historic fan bases as well. So I don't know why the White Sox and the Yankees got picked as like the first one, but that's probably because that's the movie, right? Isn't that who played was the Yankees and the White Sox?
Maybe, and I don't know why, but I mean all 4 teams are also original 4 MLB teams as well, original 16. So maybe we just hit all the teams. I mean, I get both Chicago teams because most people in Iowa do kind of lean towards the Chicago teams.
Cubs. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of Cubs and White Sox fans, especially Cubs because they got the AAA affiliate in Iowa. But I mean, there's a Chicago base in Iowa, so I think that's why those teams were played. And then the Reds, they're in their division, they're an original MLB team, and then the Yankees are just the Yankees and an original MLB team.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it'll be I hope the Astros get a call. I don't know if they will. I don't think they will. Not at least next year.
I think they're going to hit all the
OG teams first.
And there's 16 OG teams, so you might get it might be a while. Yeah, we'll see.
Who do we think is going to be next year?
Next year, let me think.
Because I was a little surprised with, I was a little more surprised with the fact that they did 2 NL teams in the same division. I mean, maybe do the Yankees, White Sox just because, they were the original movie obviously was Yankees and White Sox, so that makes sense. But also they're 2 different ones. So maybe, an OG team like. Do you count the Brooklyn? Do you count like the Dodgers as an OG team?
The Dodgers
now they're like the Brooklyn Dodgers instead, or like the
they're still an
Philadelphia A's, right? Do you count that as the Phillies, or do you count that as the A's?
That's the A's.
So do we think like it'd be like the A's and the Dodgers, something like that, or do we think it'd be like true?
I could see a Dodgers Giants.
That'd be good.
That'd be an interesting one next year, but maybe if they're going. I think they'll go back and forth between the NL and AL. So, I mean, so the original teams that haven't gone yet in the AL would be Cleveland, technically Minnesota, Baltimore.
Cleveland and Minnesota would be fun.
Cleveland, Minnesota will be fun.
Two division
They were the
rivals again.
Washington Senators back then, but and then the A's and Boston. So maybe like a Boston Cleveland. I could see a Boston Cleveland,
That'd be fun.
or
too.
like a Baltimore Boston, or Minnesota Baltimore. Who knows?
Regardless, though,
Yeah.
if Houston or Cleveland goes, I would honestly really like to go. I mean, Iowa's not close, but it's definitely not that far.
No, you could go. The problem with that is hotels, because there are like none in the area,
For sure.
and they all fill up, the ones that are. So you'd have to go maybe 2 hours out
Jeez.
to drive in.
But I'm glad that they're still doing this. This is definitely something I hope that they keep doing, and
Yeah, agreed.
I also wouldn't be pissed if they did some professional games at like some of the AAA affiliates in some areas that don't have one. Like your Iowas, your Nebraskas, your Missouris, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that
last
would be
year's game was the first MLB game in the state of Iowa. So
cool. Right.
this will be the second one tomorrow.
So I think they should do something, maybe kind of partner with them, get some more money revenue to these AAA teams as well, because obviously they could use it. But I'm looking forward to the game, and I'll definitely be tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to the who's heating up at the right time. So I think you want to do hot or cold first? Hot first or cold?
We'll start off on a good foot. We'll go hot.
We'll go hot first. Okay, so there's a few teams we want to mention. You got your Mets,
Mm-hmm.
you got your Phils, you got your Orioles, you got your Cardinals, and then you got your Dodgers, right? That's the NL with a splash of the AL. AL, other than the Orioles, you got
It's really just the Orioles.
It's really kind of just the
Cleveland a little
Oriole.
bit.
Cleveland's playing pretty decent. They took 2 games from Houston after Houston molled them the first 2 games, and they took 2 close games back after that. But I'm going to say Cleveland. I'm throwing them in there just because they took over first place of their division.
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily win a bunch of games, and they didn't win, a bunch of games in fashion, but they won it when it mattered, and they're playing good ball right now.
Yep.
They're winning close games, and I think they're currently winning right now. Live score check?
3-2.
3-2. So, yeah, they're winning right now.
Top 9.
So, I would say out of those are probably your 2 best teams in the AL. I would say Houston, but, we're 5-5 in our last 10. Like I said, we lost 2 to Cleveland, so it's not like we're playing bad, but I'm only going to bring up Houston just because we took over the best standing in all of baseball.
That's what I was just going to say.
So I don't know if you want to I'm not going to hang our hat on that and say that's necessarily the best, but it is something, to keep in mind. But outside of those couple teams, I feel like those are the really, really hot teams. So let's get to the cold teams real quick. Cold teams for sure, Yankees. They are a dumpster fire right now. Another cold team I would say is the Twins. Twins are kind of wavering, right? They're definitely had a decent lead in the Central. Definitely should have been doing better than what they are. Padres, super cold team. They got all these acquiring with Josh Hader. They got Juan Soto, and they haven't won a single game yet. I don't believe they actually went scoreless 23 innings. So I don't know what's going on in San Diego, but something's in the water there. Josh Hader gave up 3 earned runs in the bottom of the 9th or top of the 9th when he came in, so that ruined that for him. And then another cold team to kind of keep our eye on is the Brew Crew as well. So those are the teams that were kind of in their lead. Maybe the Braves you want to count as a cold team. I don't really know if you count them as a cold team necessarily. They're still doing what they have been doing all year. Basically just holding on to that second spot in their division and kind of fighting off Philly.
Yeah, no, I don't really think they're in a bad spot. I mean, the thing with the Braves is that they're probably not going to win the division, but they also don't need to fight off Philly. Obviously for playoff positioning, you want to be ahead of them, but they're not going to lose a playoff spot to Philly with 3 wild card spots now. Right. So they're fine. Also, the Padres did score 13 runs today. So maybe the bad.
Who they play? Did they play the Rockies?
They played the Giants.
Oh, they played the Giants.
Also let up 7 runs. 13-7 was the score.
Oh, jeez.
Shout out to that over. I'm sure it wasn't 19 and a half.
Definitely probably was not. That'd be a sad day.
Yeah.
If it was the Rockies maybe, or Arizona, but definitely not. So those were definitely the cold teams. Now let's touch base on those hot teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the Mets. I mentioned the Phillies, and I want to bring those two up first because they're in the same division, NL East. NL East is looking to be one of the more top-heavy, I would say, divisions in the baseball world. I would say the ALS was probably going to AL East, not ALS. AL East was going to be the favorites to be top-heavy with the amount of teams that made the postseason last year and the runs that they made. But they're kind of just looking. It's pretty much just Yankees and I don't know, Blue Jays. Would you really say is the second best team? Blue Jays or Rays, I guess. I'm not sure who you would say is better out of those two, but I'm going to say the NL East with the Mets, Braves, and Phillies. I think is definitely like the top three heavy ones of their respective division. I thought the NL West was going to be really good this year. The Giants are not the same Giants. The best record in all of baseball last year must have been a flash in the pan because they are awful. The only bright spot is Carlos Rodon, and he's about it. Yeah. So, I mean, NL East definitely going to come down the wire. I think the Mets probably hold on to that division as well. But at the end of the day, it only takes a couple streaks here, and Philly's 9-1 in their last 10 games. Mm-hmm. So I would say, who do you think is getting hot at the right time, Mets or the Phillies? Because Mets are 8-2, Phillies are 9-1.
Yeah, I mean,
who would you pick is getting hotter at the right time?
Both are. I think I'm going to give the edge to the Mets only because the way leading up to the All-Star game played, they had a 10-game lead on Atlanta, and Atlanta stormed back after having a really hot, I believe, July. Mm-hmm. And the Mets have kind of fended them off now. They've built their lead to 7.5 after being, I think it was down to one game at one point.
It was actually going down to one game when they went to play each other in New York. Now, they play each other 7 more times, all in Atlanta. So, a 7.5 game series. I'm not saying they're going to sweep them the entire series down there. The 2 series that they'll be down there. But it is something, something to think about.
Also, with the Phillies, they're getting hot right now to make the playoffs. The Mets right now are getting hot to win the National League. Yeah. And I think that's crucial for them. I think they can do it. I mean, they have Vogel back now. They have DeGrom back. They have Naquin. They've made some good moves, and they're building chemistry right now. I think they're kind of hitting their stride. And I think they can win the NL. They're probably top 2 favorites betting-wise.
Yeah. They're only, 3 games back? 2.5 games back from the Dodgers?
They are... does it not show me here? Okay, let me just do math. They're
3 games back from the Dodgers, just as a quick math thing, but it could be 2.5 because I don't know if the Dodgers have played yet and the Mets have played.
They have 3. They have 3 less wins, but 6 more losses. So that's 5 games, I think.
Okay, so it's definitely maybe it might. The Dodgers definitely would need to maybe waver a bit here, but another hot team getting into them. And that's the reason I saved these 2 teams for last was Cardinals and the Dodgers are the last 2 of the hot in the NL that I, want to bring up is they're definitely Cardinals are hot for a different reason than the Dodgers are. Dodgers are hot. They're 9-1, obviously looking really good, and they're just creating separation in their division. Cardinals being hot put them and propelled them back to number 1 in their division for the first time since July 2nd or something like that. Mm-hmm. So who do we think out of those 2, Cardinals, Dodgers, who's, peaking at the right moment is more valuable?
I think
the Cardinals or the Dodgers?
I think it's the Cardinals here. The Dodgers kind of already cemented their lead. No one's catching them in the NL West. Mm-hmm. No one is. But the Cardinals, they weren't even in the playoffs the last week we recorded. And the Brewers sold. So I think now's the time for St. Louis to build on that lead, get that division secured. It's more important for them than it is the Dodgers. The Dodgers are 15.5 games up to the Cardinals half game up.
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty easy, question, and I completely agree with you at all. But I agree with you as well. Having the ability to have an immediate, 5-game series if you win your division, an immediate 5-game series, anything can happen at that point.
So only the top 2 divisions.
So they would be in a 3-game series.
So they would be
Mets, Dodgers,
unless they somehow pass the Mets, which they are they have 13 less wins and 10 more losses. So they're
a lot.
10 games back. We'll say 10 games back. It's
so
11.
Getting an immediate 3-game series and home field advantage in that 3-game series as well is crucial, especially when you get a team like potentially Atlanta or even Philly. You know, you get them coming all the way to coming on to St. Louis, playing in that historic franchise as is in that stadium, Busch as well, and having all the momentum of Yachty, Adam, Pujols, everybody else having their backs. You know, everybody's basically going to wrap their arms around St. Louis. I feel like they'd be the underdog that everybody's going to kind of root for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be a huge one for them, and I agree with you wholeheartedly in that.
Yeah, and despite being, they would have home field advantage, but they have the worst record right now of any of the playoff teams in the National League. So maybe even in the American too. Not in the American, but in the National League, they would have the worst record.
Yeah, and I just want to touch now, speaking of that, going to the American League, let's talk about the three hot teams I'll bring up here. One, Orioles. We'll talk about them first, just get them out of the way. The only reason I want to bring them up, 7-3 in their last 10 games, winning important baseball, and now they are officially even with the Rays as the
final wild
card spot. So once again, we could see this scenario where 4 of the 5 AL East teams could make the playoffs, which would be annoying. But, you know, they deserve it. They can have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How important do we think it would be for the Orioles to make the playoffs? Like, how excited would they be?
I mean, this is huge for momentum. I mean, this is a couple years ago. This was one of the best farm systems. We're seeing that play out right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, just for morale standpoint, making the playoffs would be huge for them. I mean, going into last year, they were a laughing stock. Coming into this year, you were like, okay, look at how tough this division is. They have no shot. I mean, we want them to win. We're rooting for them. But all these teams around them, you have the Red Sox, the Rays, the Blue Jays are supposed to be sweet. The Yankees are supposed to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
And they're making the playoffs right now. And it's good for them. The city of Baltimore really rallies around them. They're an easy team to root for. Yeah. I think it'd be awesome to see them in the playoffs.
I want them to be in the playoffs so much it makes my heart hurt. And they're on my side of the division, AL, right? So I want them to be in the playoffs just because if you would have told me as this year started, hey, you know, the Orioles are going to make the playoffs this year, I'd say stop smoking crack, get help. Do I need to get you into rehab? You know, there is no way. I mean, you look up okay, you're already looking up. I love that for you. I was about to say, look at their division odds and also look at the Caesars odds of freaking them winning the World Series. They had to be bottom of the barrel last. Them or Oakland, right? So I really, really, really want them to make the playoffs, and I think it'd be cool to see them make even some noise in the playoffs as well. And I think that they could do it personally. They're just an easy team to root for. Now, the thing that sucks is I saw somebody tweet about it. They're like, man, with this Orioles team, with how exciting, how young they are, wouldn't it be important if they had a veteran bat like Trey Mancini and a veteran arm in the bullpen like Jorge Lopez? And that's ironically funny because he traded both of them away this past year, literally past trade deadline. So that to me, I thought made me chuckle as well. But getting to the second team, as you're still looking that up.
So I couldn't find their division odds, but this is the American League odds. They were plus. Sorry, let me control F this.
Oh, good.
I had it earlier. Oh, jeez, no free ads. They were plus
15,000?
1,500,000.
No, 15,000.
No, because there's 3 zeros. Shit, you're right.
Yes. Well, I was sitting there looking. I didn't know if that was the other one. So 15,000. Oh my god.
And by far the worst, besides Baltimore, the worst was Kansas City and Texas tied at 4,000.
Oh jeez.
So we're talking.
The A's weren't that low.
I think the A's had some momentum. Actually, I don't know. They spent nothing at the all.
They traded everybody away too. So
they're probably 4th.
Yeah. So that's too funny actually. But I'm rooting for them. Let's get to the second team. Guardians, not necessarily the hot in sense of winning a bunch of games, but winning series and winning games that matter. They have officially taken over first place of the AL Central. Score update?
Tied. It is 3-2, bottom of the 9th, runner on second, 2 outs.
Okay. So they could do it. Is Class A on?
Emmanuel Class A
is
in the game.
And definitely they're winning important games and series when it matters most. Do we think that the Cleveland holds on to this, though?
That's the thing. I don't know, because the White Sox are kind of approaching. The Twins are kind of a mixed bag. They did buy at the trade deadline, but I think their schedule is harder. Right now they're playing the Dodgers, so that'll be Yeah, so woof. So we'll see. I mean, Cleveland went into LA and won a series, so maybe Minnesota can, but they lost yesterday pretty badly. So we'll see. I think Cleveland. I don't know. I think people think the White Sox are actually going to win.
Cleveland won.
Cleveland just won, so they are now half game up on the Twins of Minnesota.
Update. Let's see.
Yeah, update that shit.
Update that. Talk to me, Daddy.
It's not going to be updated.
Actually, it did. The Twins jumped them.
Yeah, but it's the same record.
I understand it, but the Twins just won?
No, it was the same record before you refreshed it.
Oh.
It just switched the order for God knows what reason.
Oh, that's lame. Can it switch back? Oh, just switch back.
Yeah, see, like,
okay,
I don't know.
That's stupid. Okay, whatever. Shout out. Cleveland won. Once again, winning games when it matters most. They should beat the Tigers, but hey, they won it. They did it. So I think it's definitely huge. I, for all things good and gracious, hope that Cleveland wins, not only for your financial gain.
Oh, yes.
But also for the fact that if they win, that means that Houston, I could see another Houston game, and it'd be postseason.
And maybe we have a live Coast-to-Coast show at
In
Cleveland.
Oh, talk to me, Daddy. I would greatly appreciate that. So I'm hoping that Cleveland holds on to it. I'm hoping Cleveland wins because I think if they do, we would play you guys.
So if you hold on to your
number one spot,
and the Cleveland doesn't pass New York for whatever reason,
yeah,
Cleveland would be playing the top wildcard spot for the chance to play Houston. So we'll see.
Oh God, I actually kind of want you guys to play the Yankees and then just beat the Yankees. That'd be awesome.
I mean, yeah, maybe we get a LCS.
Yeah, because we don't like the Yankees here, right, Ryan?
Oh my
Ryan's a Yankees fan. We don't talk to him. That's why he sits behind the camera. And then the last team I kind of just want to touch base on. That's I don't want to say hot, but just winning is the Astros. They officially took over the 1 seed for all of the AL.
All of baseball, I believe.
No, the Dodgers still have a better record.
And the Mets have.
And the Mets, yes.
Sorry.
So that's just kind of important. Home field advantage through the entire playoffs is good. I personally don't want it. Ironically, the past 4 postseasons, we have not played well at home. It is wild to me. I don't know why. It just is. We literally lost every single game at home in the 2019 World Series. Won every single game on the road. First time that's ever happened. We go to last year in the World Series. We win game 1. We lose game 1, win game 2. Lose game 3 and 4, win game 5, and then lose game 6 in blowout fashion. So, I don't know why. I don't know if it's something in the water. But when it comes to the playoffs and it comes to World Series time, we don't play well. So, either way, I'm hoping the Dodgers retain that, especially if we make the World Series and the Mets, so that they have home field advantage through the entire postseason. So maybe we'll win there. But it's definitely important. But let's get to the cold teams. First things first, we'll stay in the AL. Yankees. What the fuck is happening with the Yankees?
I don't know. Maybe it's the loss of Joey Gallo. Yankees fans hated him, but maybe
that's too funny.
Maybe he was
so glad you brought that up.
Maybe he was a clubhouse guy because now isn't he crushing it now?
Well, it's funny because it's Yankees since trading Joey Gallo's 0-7. Dodgers since acquiring Joey Gallo's 7-0.
Maybe a huge locker room guy.
So it's kind of just a funny tidbit and definitely a way to look at it. But I mentioned a while back that the Yankees are going to win and they're going to win a lot of games. But they're going to do what the Yankees do, and that is crumble when it matters most. And I don't know why they do it. They have all the pieces. Mm-hmm. They have veteran guys. They have a coach that's been there that's done that. They have the right people to do it. It's not like they're a super young team like Cleveland where you're like, oh well, Cleveland fell apart. Well, it's their average age is 26. None of them have ever won before.
Right.
When you look at the Yankees, you have Aaron Judge who's been there, done that. Was an AL MVP candidate in his rookie year. Been in a lot of postseason games. Garrett Cole obviously has been in a lot of postseason games. Nestor Cruz now has been around for a while. Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, they have these pieces that they know what to play, know how to play baseball when it matters most, and it just seems like they don't. And I don't know what's going on with the Yankees, but there definitely seems to be something happening in New York, and I would look out for them. I would be worrisome if I was a Yankees fan. That's all.
Yeah, and for Yankees fans, they're fortunate enough that they did build such a big lead before this little collapse they've had. They're still 10 games up on the Blue Jays. They're still a lock for the
But
playoffs.
Only 12 on the Orioles. Here comes the...
Here come my O's.
Are they the Bird? Are they...
Bird Gang.
Yeah, Bird Gang. Okay,
Bird
yeah.
Gang.
Here come the O's, baby.
The Dirty Birds.
Definitely a good thing for the Yankees to win early and win often, but it's definitely something you should be worried about. But Twins, second team I kind of want to talk about going cold is they bought at the deadline, and I'm not saying that it's not paying off. It's just not like it's winning them games, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why it is or what it is. I just feel like they can't kickstart anything, right? It's like they're not winning when it matters, and they're not winning games that they should win. Like losing a game to the Tigers, obviously losing games to the Jays, and these are games where it's like you need to compete and you need to win. What's their last like 10 games look like? Who'd they play?
They're 5-5, but they played the Dodgers yesterday.
Lost big.
Blue Jays they split.
Yeah.
Looks like Detroit they won the series, and then they lost to
Lost the series to the Padres,
San Diego, and
lost
2-game sweep against
the Brewers. So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like these are the games where they need to start winning and proving that they can play baseball. And I feel like they're just not showcasing that very well. So at the end of the day, Twins need to be kind of worrisome. Obviously, the division's up for grabs, and they're still part of that. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. And then quickly bouncing over to the National League team that's going kind of cold. It would be the Brewers. They're 4-6 in their last 10, but they just lost control of their division. That I felt like they had a hefty kind of hand on, not necessarily like fat lead, but like they had a control over, and they sold at the deadline and they got great parts back. But I don't think Josh Hader is the reason, solely the reason that they lost this lead.
Yeah, and it must be pretty frustrating for Cardinals fans too, because it felt like Milwaukee had like a 2-game lead for like 3 months.
Yeah, sure.
And they finally just passed them. The Brewers, they sold a little bit at the deadline, and maybe that's just a mental thing in the clubhouse. But I think they're going to end up. I think St. Louis is going to end up building on this lead, and they're going to make this a much easier win in the division than it looked a month ago.
Right, and then last team, Braves, 5-5 in the last 10 games. Not necessarily like cold, but they have the team. They have the moving available. They have the parts. They got some people at the deadline. They definitely need to start just kicking it into gear if they have any chance of wanting to catch the Mets, right? I mean, they have to put it into full go here.
Yeah, this is less about the Braves and more about the teams around them. I don't think the Braves are really even playing that bad. It's just the Mets are so hot right now. The Phillies are 9-1 in their last 10.
Right.
I mean, this is just about the teams around them. I mean, the Padres, who knows? They might kick it into gear here in a second, and Atlanta could be that third wildcard team having to fend off Milwaukee and San Francisco. So we'll see. I think they're in good position, though. I think they're pretty safe. They're a safe bet to make the playoffs.
Right. And last but not least, Padres looking very, very average for what they did at the deadline.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe that's just the first game with these guys playing together.
Right.
Tatis still isn't back yet, so we haven't even seen this in full force. I think Tatis is on assignment, though.
He is on his triple.
I saw him hit a double in his first at-bat.
He had a double and a triple last game, and then also got a home run like today.
I only saw the double. So, yeah, I mean, Tatis should be back soon. We'll see this team in full force, and they'll be probably one of the most fun teams to watch.
Especially if it comes to the playoffs as well. So,
yep.
That's all right. We'll keep tapped in on that and stuff. But those are the teams that we feel like kind of are hot, kind of not. And those are definitely something that we'll be looking out for. So then moving to the last part before we get to the 2-minute drill. Before we get to the MVP talk, let's talk about our last sponsor, National Road Golf Course. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for sponsoring the pod. John, why don't you talk a little bit about National Road? Let me get some insight from you.
Let me tell you about National Road, okay?
Lay it on me.
I may not be the best golfer.
Fact.
I went to their rival course, Oakhurst, the other day.
Oh.
They kicked me out because I'm so bad. So I went to my friends at National Road.
All my homies hate Oakhurst.
They hate Oakhurst.
So many people hated them.
They closed
out 3 years ago.
Shit.
Well, he meant Hickory.
Hickory.
Yeah. It's close. Yeah, he meant Hickory.
But anyways, my boys over
at National Road Golf Course,
they set me up at the simulators. They're like, John, you gotta straighten out your swing here. You're cutting it. You're dicing it.
You're dicing. You're slicing.
You're slicing.
I get all of it.
And they help me out with my swing. And then I play on their course. And it's easy to find that ball when I do dice and slice.
Yeah,
So,
and it's also easy to, it's definitely not the longest course in Columbus, Ohio, right? So it's definitely something for the people that can't drive the ball very far. It's definitely a rudimentary course to start out at. So make sure you check out National Road Golf Course off Route 40 just outside of West Jefferson, Ohio. They've got all the things that you need, fun. They got simulators inside, as you mentioned, John. They've got a full 18-hole course, and they've got no sand traps. They've got one water thing. You've got some cornfields to worry about in case you don't slice in there. But outside of those couple things, it's a very easy rudimentary course that you can, for beginners or for people that want to feel good about their score. You should definitely check out them. They got a full driving range as well. So check out our friends at National Golf Course outside of West Jefferson, Ohio, off Route 40. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you, National Road.
Thank you, National Road. So let's get to the MVP talk. Paul Goldschmidt and Aaron Judge are leading the race for MVP.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. As of right.
According to MLB.
And according to MLB.com. AL goes Aaron Judge, Papa Shohei, Daddy Yordan Alvarez, Grandpa Jose.
He's not that old, just in
He's older than everybody else.
Babysitter Jose. Or I was talking about the players. He's not older than Aaron Judge, is he?
Yeah, Jose Ramirez for sure is older than Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge's first rookie season was 2017. He was, I think, 22 or something.
You sure about that, my friend?
I think Aaron Judge's 30, or he's less. He's 28.
He's 30.
Okay, Jose Ramirez got to be 33.
He's 29.
Ah! I'm sorry. Fine. Jose Ramirez, Uncle Jose, and then the babyface assassin, Rafael Devers. That's right now your top three in the AL. Then you bounce over to the NL. You got Paul Goldschmidt, Austin Riley, Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, and then Nolan Arenado. Those are your top five for both divisions. What kind of stands out to you out of these five?
I mean, the only team with two players on either list is St. Louis. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, Aaron Judge is going to win it for sure. I think he's almost a lock in the AL. I think the NL is a little more wide open. I can see Austin Riley, Freddie Freeman. I can see Pete Alonso. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's kind of a three-horse race with Goldschmidt, Riley, and Freeman. So, yeah. Also, Jose's birthday's coming up. So he's only a couple months younger than
happy birthday, Jose.
So in September.
We'll bring him on the pod, give him some cake.
Yeah.
Little birthday
central celebration.
One thing that kind of stands out to me, and I don't think this will ever happen again necessarily unless something crazy has to happen, but I feel like Justin Verlander should be getting MVP nods. He's having a better season than when he won the actual MVP, and he's getting no love. Now, I don't know if they'll ever do a pitcher MVP again. I know Aaron Judge is playing lights out. I'm not saying necessarily Aaron Judge should be, Justin Verlander should be taking over first place from Aaron Judge, or maybe taking over, third place. But I feel like some pitchers, I don't know if they're just doing it because they have their own award, so just let them have it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think what Justin Verlander's doing, and also what he's been able to do after a year being on Tommy John's as well, should be recognized. And Boston's bad, and I know the thing that helps with baseball is it's all individual sports statistics, and Rafael Devers is the only really good person on that team and bright spot for them because he's probably one of the best third basemen in all of baseball, especially in the AL, behind Jose or Alex as well, assuming he's healthy. But I feel like he should be getting a little more love, that's all. And I don't know if I'm crazy in thinking that or, what's the reason behind that.
I mean, you're not crazy. I think pitchers should be considered for the MVP. I think you could probably make
his ERA is best in the AL. He has more wins than anybody in the AL. Mm-hmm. And he has, I think he's top 6 in strikeouts.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like that should be at least some MVP love.
I think I'm an advocate of, I think we should make a separate award for position players, like a Cy Young. And that way we have both of those and then just have the MVP be an all-encompassing one.
Because to me, if it's all-encompassing, it should be Shohei Ohtani every time because he's doing something that nobody else is doing. Right? And that's my problem with Shohei winning MVP is he's not the best at any of his position.
Yeah.
Right? like if you look at last year, right, when he had his MVP season, he didn't lead the league in home runs, didn't lead the league in RBIs. He was a really fucking good bat, but he wasn't necessarily the best right fielder if you had to pick. Okay, now throw him on the mound. He had really good pitching stats for just a guy that's doing both, obviously. But if you look at him just as a numbers person as a pitcher, he's like the third guy in your rotation. He's got like a ERA of 3 something, so it's not like he's, get fucking
absolutely
hose piece.
Was that Brantley?
No, I wish. Brantley's still in the IL. That's Daddy Chaz McCormick out there in left field. But sorry about that. We're watching the game. There's a game going on over here. We like to be tapped in while recording.
Absolutely fucking hosed.
But the thing that, he's been like the third guy. His ERA wasn't necessarily the best, but his strikeouts were good and his ball, and his ERA was good. But the fact that he can do both makes him that's one of my whole point of why LeBron James should be MVP almost every year he's in the league. He can guard 1 through 5, he can pass the ball, he can rebound the ball, and he can score the ball all very well and easily. But it'll go to somebody else that can't do necessarily all 3 of those things, 4 of those things. So we'll keep her tapped in, and that's just my reason why I think that maybe Justin should get a little bit more love. Did he miss the tag?
Ooh.
Oh, he's safe. He's safe, right? He's safe, right?
I don't know.
He's safe. You gotta Martin Maldonado. What are we doing, bro?
I don't know if you'll be able to overturn that though. What did they call?
He said it's under review. That's all right. What? Fuck.
I don't know if you're gonna be able. Oh, here. This is
the angle right here. This is the angle right here.
This is terrible podcasting.
He missed his
Dude,
leg. Oh no, he touched his leg. That's
yeah,
but
but is his foot already on the
face?
face?
They're not overturning. They're not overturning that.
They need to. Yeah, but he touches his back leg, so you need to now go to the other angle and see if they tagged him.
Nah,
or if he touched the plate.
I'm wishing it into existence. He touched it.
I mean, you're losing either way.
I'd rather be losing by 1 than 2.
Shout out my Rangers. Oh, here we go. This is the best.
This is a terrible angle. You're not going to see whether his foot touches.
I'm going to see when his...
See his glove.
Yeah, he's
flare
out.
up there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think he's
all
out.
right, dope.
Okay, I just needed to see the other.
Yeah, we need to see the angle.
Okay.
But switching to the NL, is there anything that surprises us that I feel like one person that should be getting maybe a little more love than what they are or aren't getting is once again I'm going to talk about a pitcher. I'm going to talk about Sandy. I feel like Sandy should be getting some love here. I mean, the amount of what he's doing for my confirmed.
Okay.
Confirmed. That's gross. I feel like Sandy should be getting love too. Once again, I don't know if it's just because it is a pitcher. I think Justin was the last person to win Cy Young and MVP. Don't quote me on that. I might die on that. But here, I'll let you give your take. I'll look it up.
Okay. I think the NL list is pretty. I think that's a pretty good list. There's nothing that really stands out to me too much. I do think Goldschmidt's probably your one.
He's playing so well.
Yeah, Austin Riley's having a great season for Atlanta. I think Pete Alonso might be a little overrated there, but Pete Alonso's still I think he's a top 10 player in the National League if you exclude pitchers. So
the last person to win MVP, by the way, was Clint Kershaw
in 2014
when he went 21-3. With a 1.77 ERA.
Who was before Verlander? How long of a break?
Dennis Eckersley, 1992.
Dennis Eckersley.
But he only won it because he was a closer, 51 saves.
Yeah, but no one talks about him now.
Well, fucking Eric Gagne, he was like that. Eric Gagne had a fucking he won MVP, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
Well, he should have. I'm pretty sure he did. Regardless, though, that's irrelevant. I feel like Sandy should be getting a little bit more love. Not necessarily taking over the one spot, like I mentioned before, but definitely getting some type of respect. And I feel like he's just not getting it necessarily.
Yeah.
I think Paul Goldschmidt's definitely going to be the runaway here. He's been the most consistent. Austin just had a fucking month and a half in July.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had 24 extra base hits. His WRC plus was 440 or something. He had a month and a half. So I'll be curious to see how this, a week or two from now, how this ends up, especially with the Yankees going as cold as they are, and if Aaron Judge drops it all. Because I think it's going to go to the person that hits the most home runs, and I feel like
it's going to be Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be typically how it breaks down. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep her toughed up, but We're getting ready to get in this 2-minute drill. Before we get going, Ryan, are you ready? Whenever you're ready. I don't need you to yell at me. I'm just asking a question. This fucking guy. Are you ready? Wow, your head's tiny.
Little tiny head.
Or my head's huge.
Big
One of
brain.
them. All right, Ryan, let's get into this 2-minute drill. You tell me whenever you're ready. Me.
Are you gonna do the thingy?
What thing?
The intro that you just apparently.
Oh, yeah. The intro.
didn't
The
even
intro.
know.
No. I'll do the intro. Welcome to Ryan's 2-minute drill. Quick hits, quick thoughts. These are things that Ryan saw on the Twitterverse, the Facebooks, the MySpaces, the AOLs. I can't name any more old technologies that we don't use anymore that I'm aware of. The snail mails, I guess, of
The Racer flip phone.
Wait, SpongeBob. We have technology.
Yes, the things that he saw were cool through the week. Wants to get our take on it. Just some quick hits, quick thoughts, and quick responses. Try and get under 2 minutes, and if we do, great. If we don't, we suck and we whip each other in the sleep.
Maybe I might take a little longer.
It might take a little longer, John, you little freak.
Alright.
All right, lay it on me, Ryan.
Well, we're gonna start. You guys should have the clip or seen the clip.
Oh, God.
Is this the best bat flip of all time? They're showing.
That has to be the greatest bat flip of all time.
Absolutely fucking
He
insane.
yacked that.
There's also a decent chance that ball went foul, and he just decided to say,
I kind of hope. But go on. That is the greatest.
Wow. I just keep looking at it. I keep watching it.
that's how we lose the 2 minutes.
So, the Detroit Tigers fired VP and GM Al Avila after he worked for them for 21 years. Is this a good or bad move?
Unpopular opinion, good move. I feel like Detroit's been just standing at this standstill for the past couple of years. Change something up.
I think it's a good move, and I've seen a lot of Detroit fans pretty happy with it. I mean, they're supposed to be good this year. They weren't. Maybe not exactly his fault, but a lot of Tigers fans seem happy. So,
Yeah.
Good for them.
Scotty Middleton, number 18 overall prospect, picked Ohio State. Going to Ohio State. Does this get Ohio State over the hump and make them elite?
I don't know yet. I mean, basketball's kind of hard to judge that. It's definitely good to get good prospects and good talent.
Chris Holtman's still the coach. They won't make this second weekend.
Cameron Smith is reportedly to potentially leaving the PGA Tour to go to the LIV for a stupid amount of money. Is this a good or bad move for him?
Bad move for him, man. You're just getting in the golf world. You're just getting a name for yourself. Go for that legacy. You already made that. You already made stupid money this past year. Just keep going.
Good for him. Bad for me. I thought I had a chance at the Live Tour. This is just one more spot taken up.
Kevin Durant has interest in going to the Sixers. Does this actually happen?
No, I think Kevin Durant. I don't know where he goes.
I don't know where he goes either, but I think they don't want to give up that many pieces for him, so no way.
I don't think he goes to the Sixers.
I don't either.
All right, we made it.
Hey, appreciate it. The fact that you were like, no, we can't make it. He's still the coach. I'm sorry, that made me chuckle.
He is. I mean, if you think Ohio State's making the second weekend now, you're wrong. I mean, we had good recruits before. We've had amazing regular seasons to
Oh yeah, 100%.
lose to
Now,
Oral
is that a
Roberts.
prospect for this upcoming season?
I believe it's the 2023 class, so he will be a part of next year's team, not this current
Correct.
school year. Next school year.
So not this season. That's not a strike, sir.
Wait, is the 2023 class, is that Bronny's class? Or is he 2020?
I think he's next.
No, that's
year.
Brian's class. No, that's Brian's class.
Pull up 24/7 Sports. My
Yo, do you think we can snag Bronny? Say, yo, LeBron.
Well, Braun.
I don't know if he raised his kids as Ohio State fans.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's raised his kids as be whatever fans you want to be, or whatever.
You're right. He is a part of the 2023 class.
Say some shit. Say some shit.
Look,
John, say some shit right now. I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you.
you want to? You know what? I'll say some shit. So the coaches poll came out this week.
Oh God, you don't want to get John fired up. Go ahead, John. Talk your shit.
And so there are 4 teams that received first place votes. Alabama, Ohio State had 5, Georgia had 6, and the Texas Longhorns had 1. Now I have a conspiracy theory on who that one is.
I think you need to explain it a little bit because people like me didn't know necessarily what that meant. So you got to give a little background.
So
of who votes on it.
So
right?
the
Obviously, coaches.
coaches vote on this poll. There's if you have a first place vote, there's a little parentheses next to your name with the number of first place votes you get. So Texas had that little. They were 18th in the poll, but they had that little parenthesis with that one in it because one coach decided to vote.
John,
that number
now
one.
I'm not saying you're a conspiracy theorist, but who do you think voted for Texas?
So it's come out that this was not of the Longhorns' doing.
What?
I'm starting to think that this was a doing of old Saint Nick, Nick Saban from Alabama. Now they play them week 2, and I think him voting for them brings them up in the poll. And if they beat number 1, then they are number 1. So I believe that this was of Nick Saban's doing.
God damn it, John. I hope you're so fucking right. No, I don't know if Bron actually raised his kids to be. I'm sure they're just like B fans, whatever the hell you want to be fans of. I know that he always said that. I think Bron always said that he wanted to play for Coach K, and maybe he was like, "Well, Bronny, I want you to play for Coach K." Clearly, that's not going to happen. This thing says his interests are Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina. So literally the top 4 blue bloods.
I thought I saw Ohio State.
I mean, Bronny's only
somewhere.
This is just 24/7 Sports.
Yeah.
So
this is Bronny's a 4-star, so it's not like he's going to be the most touted recruit that they're going after. But you have the opportunity to be sponsored by LeBron James for whatever.
I mean, they already are.
Yeah, Ohio State already is.
I know. That's what I'm saying for like North
But,
Carolina.
oh my gosh, could you imagine Bronny's first college debut game in Value City Arena? Holy shit, the place would be sold out.
I 100% agree, especially with the chance that maybe LeBron makes the game. Like, I'm just Ohio kid, Ohio legend in LeBron. Your son goes to Ohio State. I mean, personally, I think he should go to Ohio State just because I think he would be one of the best players on Ohio State's team, and definitely could impact and play right away. Not saying he can't do that at the other schools, but it would definitely be an interesting case. That's all.
I don't know if he wants to play for Chris Holtman.
Maybe.
So what you're saying is you made the point of Coach K. He wanted to play for Coach K. So what you're saying is Coach K is going to come out of retirement.
Coach Ohio State
for however many years Bronny's there, and then
one because LeBron's gonna say, "Come to the NBA. I'll be on your team. That's it. I'll go to your fucking team.
Come to the NBA. I don't got many more years left. So gotta get it."
Yeah, straight up. I think LeBron can still play till his other kid gets there because his other son's like gonna be a freshman.
Could you? Okay. What are we?
His other son even gonna be good?
Let's see, Bronny.
His other son's better than Bronny.
His
other son's like 6'6". Bronny's like 6'4".
I thought he was a little chubby.
Nope, dude. Look at him now. Look at LeBron James' other son. Bronny's like 6'3", right? 6'4".
Yeah,
this other kid's like 6'6" already.
But
Bryce Miss Maximus.
can you imagine? Bronny's like trash in college, right? But
That's from like 10 years ago. Look at the fucking current picture.
I mean,
that's from the Littlefoot. That's from the Smallfoot movie premiere. Just click on him. Go back. Go back one. Go back one. Nope. Go back. Go back to where it literally said LeBron. No, yep. One more. Yeah. Click that dude. That's it. That's who it fucking is. Okay. Go to his Instagram. Look at this fucking kid. Look at this dude. Look at this boy. No, this is a fan account. I don't think that's a real. I don't think that's. No, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, fine. I'll wrap it up here. Before we'll talk about this off pod.
No, what I was gonna say.
Yeah, fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
What I was gonna say was, imagine if Bronny's like trash, right?
okay.
Okay, go on.
But he could still go like first round. Like he'd be like one of the worst players in the draft, if not the worst. Goes first round because that team who drafts him
Get LeBron.
They're getting LeBron. You're drafting 2 players. One of them is LeBron James.
I mean, he might be slightly taller, but like he looks skinnier.
No, I don't know. That'll be an interesting debate just because that's the one. Oh fuck,
Jesus
touchscreen. I'm sorry.
Christ.
Look at that. That's from like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shit.
He's fucking almost the same height as LeBron. He's not even. Motherfucker's not even 15 yet. Motherfucker's not 16 years old.
Okay.
Gonna be Diesel. No, it'll be interesting because to me it depends. Like you want to take on 2 of those people, and also you got to build for the future. You're only gonna have LeBron for what 1 or 2 years, so it's like I don't know how many people. I think people will worry about that, but I don't know how serious that is. But we'll wrap it up here. Thanks you so much for hanging out, guys. Check us out on Spotify. If you listen to us on Spotify, check us out on YouTube, and vice versa as well. I'll double down on that, do a little double dipping. John, you got anything to say to people before we go?
College football is coming.
College football is
Only
coming.
7 more
We actually
days.
need to get a.
I think we have less than a week. I think either this coming Saturday or next Saturday we get your Huskers playing in Dublin, Ireland against the Northwestern Wildcats.
We should get a fucking whiteboard. We should have got a whiteboard and wrote down. We'll do that for the NFL.
Okay.
Do that for the NFL and college. We'll do it for about fuck it. Ryan, you got anything to say to people before we let him go?
No.
I got one thing to say. Nebraska, this is our year, baby. Fuck Ohio State. Fuck Michigan. Fuck all the Big Ten. Corn Huskers, we're coming, baby. Fear the Scott Frost. We'll see you next week. Peace.